Hello there. It is January 2nd, 2023. That's right. It is the very first podcast of Strat Chat, a reality TV podcast of the new year of 2023. Happy New Year to both of you. How are you? You doing all right? Everybody doing good?
Yeah. Doing pretty great.
I'm doing.
Yeah, 2023 has been good so far?
So far.
No complaints.
Right. Less than 48 hours in, so we'll see. But we are here tonight to discuss the Challenge 38, Ride or Dies, episode 12. I am super pumped, so let's get into it. All right, everybody. Now, I am John Dunphy. I'm joined, as always, by my Ride or Dies, Mr. Kyle Petty and Miss Gina Morgino. I am looking at the title of this this stream right now and realizing that I made a big mistake because it says episode 11 recap. This is the episode 12 recap, and I will go back and fix that as soon as possible.
Yikes. Crikey.
Yeah, I know. Already failing here in 2023. That's me. That's my fault.
Starting off with a bang.
Wonderful start. Hey, Dan. Happy New Year.
Hi.
Yeah. So yeah, we are Strat Chat, a reality TV podcast. If you want to find us on the socials, you can do so. Look for us on places, like Twitter and Instagram, right? At Strat Chat Pod. Or you can go to our website, www.stratchatpod.com. All right. And like I said, we are here to discuss episode 12 of the Challenge 38 Ride or Dies. I'm very excited about this. I thought this was a pretty, there was a lot of stuff going on in this episode. Anybody have any initial thoughts? Anything that they want to get out there now before we start sort of, dissecting the episode itself?
No.
Okay.
No initial thoughts.
Then we'll get into it.
Let's do
Now,
it.
at the top of the episode, as always, we had the challengers returning from the zone from the previous elimination where Amber sent Nurys out. We've talked about this before. I've tweeted about it, but it just Amber needs more respect on her name.
I, for the life of me, will never understand what happened that people don't respect her. I don't get
It's
it.
just threatened by her. That's all it is.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all it has to be. No.
It's so stupid.
That's all it is. Yeah.
Kyle has said it before, and I think it's totally true. It's just really a matter of she came in and she won on her first season, her very first season. So you look at people like Devin, right? Earlier in this season, Devin was going new champs. We want new champs. We want new champs. And it's like Devin, who has been there for getting close to a decade now and still hasn't won. And then you look at somebody like Amber B, who came in her first season and won. Yeah, I'm sure, people are upset for that kind of reason.
It's so frustrating that doesn't give her more respect,
Yeah.
Like, to me, I'm like, that's more impressive than you've been paying your dues this whole time and you finally won one. You came in right out the gate and you won. That's so impressive.
Yeah.
Especially with the way that they are constantly gunning for the rookies. One slipped through the cracks and won. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And, but I do wonder too, if do you think that the attitude towards Amber would be different if she didn't come from Big Brother? Because I know that there's a stigma to some of the Big Brother people in there too, right? You look at somebody like Devin, who hates Big Brother people, right? Do you think that it's not only that Amber won, but also that she came from Big Brother? You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, because I think it's just they don't like Amber because nobody gives Casey all this guff.
Casey or Fessy, honestly, either. Well, as much of a mess as Fessy is, he doesn't get this sort of disrespect like Amber does.
Because he also never won. Didn't Casey win the challenge?
Oh, yeah.
Did she win one?
Yeah.
She won one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Casey doesn't get any of this. They just don't like Amber.
Yeah.
But Fessy gets it. I just feel like, they don't take him seriously either because he hasn't actually won one. So
sure.
Yeah. But speaking about Amber, I did want to ask you guys about one of our rookies this season, Chauncey. What are your overall opinions on Chauncey? I've really started to like him, honestly. I kind of like him. You don't like him, Kyle?
Based on what? What do you like about him?
I feel like I don't have an opinion on him. He's just kind of there.
I do agree. Yeah, I do agree with this. Like, he hasn't been featured much in the season, but like, I don't know. He just seems like a nice guy, and I just kind of like him. That's all. That's all. But the next thing that I had was that it seems like Devin is really the leader of Moriah's team here. They've obviously lost the first 2 team daily challenges, but Devin seems like super vocal and like a big time leader on the team. Like, any thoughts on Devin here? Because it seems like he really tried to rally the troops, and we'll probably talk about it a little bit more later on. But he's just like very vocal, and that's why I feel like Devin. I just have a feeling about him now as we've moved through the season that like this is going to be Devin's season. I don't know why, but he's been very vocal. Like, do you have any thoughts on like sort of how he's sort of rallied the troops as they've lost their first 2 challenges? Now they move into this new week. Any thoughts on Devin?
I don't care about him anymore. This is the beginning of where I think the episode really starts to decline. I feel like they're forcing a lot of storylines and certain narratives here that I just don't care about. You telling me that this is Devin's season, that turns out to be the case, I'm going to be massively disappointed. He hasn't done anything that really warrants that at all. If you think that standing in a circle, just walking around saying your dog, your dog, your dog is some kind of team motivation, I'm sorry, it's lost on me. That would not get me amped up. This is not the leader that we're looking for. And stop trying to sell him as such.
Whoa.
Wow.
Not impressed.
Wow. Okay.
Right out the gate.
All right. Wow. So the next thing that I have here is Nelson's video chat with Corey, which is where I immediately said, "Uh-oh, Nelson's in trouble." What's the thumbs down for? You didn't like Corey's appearance
I don't like
here?
these video chats either. I don't know why we're talking to these people who aren't playing this season. Like, they can never offer anything that's going to matter at all. They're not there. So it
always feels like they're just like, oh, well, we know that people liked this person, so maybe they'll tune in if they know that this person's back. It's like, what are you really contributing? I don't understand.
Right.
Oh man.
Awful.
I
also don't like I don't like when we call family either. We never used to do that. Why are we doing that? Like,
is that a new thing?
Only of like the past couple seasons, like,
because it's been on every season I've watched.
Yeah,
so.
we've never gone into a secret room and like, oh, let's have this hushed conversation. It's just very bizarre to me. It's just like a reason to put Corey on screen, which I'd much rather you just put him on the season.
Right.
Weak. But yes, it is our first signal that Nelson's going to be in some troubles. Mm-hmm.
It was a clear indicator of that. So that was noteworthy. And then we had a nice moment of Jordan. He's been helping in the Ukraine. What do you think about this? It's pretty nice, right? He's been bringing in supplies, evacuating people. All right. Just wanted to, highlight a couple of nice things. Now, what did you guys think, though, of this talk between Fessy and Moriah? Fessy immediately asks, Moriah, are you going to help me out because it's a guy's elimination week? And she said, well, you didn't help me out when it was a girls' week. And he said, well, that's because you didn't ask. But, like, if you're a ride or die, shouldn't that sort of understanding be there?
Yup. What do you mean you didn't ask? You came into this game together. I shouldn't have to ask.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless he seems to think that because he is asking her.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what kind of janky ass morals those are.
I don't get that.
But at least he is living up to what he is purporting he was expecting. Right. It is consistent at least. Even
do you think that this sort of little footage here of this conversation could be an indication that maybe Fessy has been sort of like manipulating Moriah as the other team captain sort of in there? You know what I mean? Because we've talked about this and how the teams were formed, right? And how Fessy and Moriah had that deliberation, and it didn't seem like Moriah was really playing ball, was just kind of like, well, I'm going to pick this person. And then Fessy was like, well, if you pick that person, I'm picking this person. And then Moriah being like, well, wait, no. You know what I mean? But like, and we all agreed, I think, that Moriah didn't really do enough for herself in that deliberation when they were kind of trying to figure out teams. But like, but we've also heard people like Bananas say like, oh, we think, I kind of think, Fessy, manipulated Moriah here. But do you think that like this is an indication that maybe there is some manipulation going on? The fact that Fessy would come in and be like, well, you're going to save me, right? Because it's a guy's elimination. Just a thought.
I mean, maybe, but I also think he's just kind of using her lack of experience in the game to his advantage. Like, I don't know that he's necessarily going in and trying to manipulate, but he's like, she's a rookie. She doesn't really know what's going on, and I do. So I can kind of like tweak things and twist things to kind of get what I'm looking for. I'm not really screwing her, but like I'm still trying to set myself up as best I can,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what's going on. I don't think it's manipulative. I think it's just what you said there. And I think that's also because they are not true ride or dies.
Right.
There's been too many other moments where he's like, oh, I think she's still my friend. I think she still sees me as a friend. What kind of a statement is that? Like, if I'm here with my ride or die, I would not sit back and say, look, I think she still sees me as a friend. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Now, I had tweeted last week and I had made a comment, like, what exactly is the relationship between Fessy and Moriah? And that's when this person had tweeted back and said that they just met at a gym, and MTV said, okay. And like, as stupid as that sounds, like I can't get out of my head.
No, truly
And,
though,
like,
I don't
really,
see that
because
relationship there.
I don't see a relationship there either. Like, you shouldn't even be wondering if this person still sees you as a friend. Like, if I went into this with either of you, even if I moved against you, I still wouldn't say I'm not sure if Gina's my friend. Like,
Yeah.
even if you're annoyed
Right.
with me, you're still my friend. Like, what kind
Right.
of ride or die is that? Like, just because this relationship isn't real. And I think that's why we're also seeing some with him looking like he's manipulating her or doing something that maybe he shouldn't against her. Like, it's not as egregious an offense because he doesn't know this woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel that.
So he's just like, whatever, I'm playing a game. Sorry, hon. Like,
yeah.
And you should feel indebted to me because I was the only reason you got into this world.
Yeah.
Like, your fake
True,
friend
like,
now
not-
got to be on TV. So you're
Not
welcome.
in a shady way, but like, who was she before she was on the season? Like, if she wouldn't have gotten there without being attached to somebody.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
So.
All right. Yeah. Now, it was in this conversation that we first got the mention, right? Moriah said to Fessy, like, "Oh, well, if we win this challenge, my team is not saying your name," and that's what she said to Fessy. So, just gonna leave it at that.
Did she say my team? Or did she say I'm not?
I believe she said that
team?
her team. She said like we or my team, something like that. It's like 100%. We're not saying your name if we win this daily challenge.
Okay.
But so we moved into the daily challenge, which was called Chopper Drop.
Yeah.
You guys like this challenge? You like this one?
I like this challenge in theory.
In theory,
I liked it.
It was fun.
Why only in theory?
Yeah, why only in theory?
I think this challenge was wildly manipulated. The results are a flying farce.
Oh man.
Yeah, sorry. I call
you're not feeling the 2-second buffer.
I'm not
in between?
feeling the 2 seconds. I'm not feeling some of these target drops either.
Yeah, we're gonna get into some of this.
There was some Twitter discourse about it, and I did review this episode before this stream rather.
I can agree with that.
And, let me tell you something. Shenanigans.
I have some tweets queued up. I have some video footage queued up.
Chopper drop. Total flop for me.
I can totally agree with that.
Yeah. So let's just break it down. So chopper drop. This daily challenge, each team would have to, ready, Kyle? There'd be a chopper, right? Helicopter. And each team was going to have to hang from this chopper, hold on, and, fly through the air, over the water. And there were a series of targets below them. And as they moved through these targets, they got smaller and smaller. But the point value of each target got bigger and bigger. How about that, huh? Now, so basically, what you had to do here is there were only 6 players that could actually hang from the chopper, and only 2 of each of those players could drop through one target. Okay. So once you drop through the target, you would get your points, and then you'd have to swim to the finish dock as fast as you could. And whoever got the most points or finished the fastest, if there was a tie in points, they would be the winners. Now, Fessy's team had 2 extra players, so they did not hang from the chopper through and drop at the target, but they still had to swim. Okay. So that's where we were at with that. Now, this was close. That's what we were told. Both teams got the same amount of points, 440 points, and they were apparently only separated by 2 seconds. That's what TJ told us. 2 seconds. And at the end of the day, Moriah's team took the win. They took the win, their first daily challenge win as a team, Fessy's team's first daily challenge loss. But there was some controversy here because Daddy B, Sir Nanas himself, tweeted something. He was a little, I think, skeptical of the result of this this daily challenge, and he tweeted this. This is what he said here. Let's take a look. He said, "There is a 0% chance that Jordan hit the target. This just confirms what we saw from the shore. Literally the only pair we didn't get a bird's eye view shot from the chopper splashing down. I can't imagine why." Very interesting. And when like when Johnny Bananas says something like this, you have to look into it, right? You have to. So let's take a look at the video here. We have a video of Jordan dropping. Okay, so let's take a look at this real quick here. All right, for our own our audio only listeners, check out YouTube, Twitter, whatever. Check out this video clip and decide for yourself. Here we go. That splash looks very far outside of that target, right?
There's nowhere near that target. The thing about this is that we did get a bird's eye view there, and what we can clearly see is that all splashes are on the outside of the target.
I noticed it too, but I fully gaslit myself because I was like, well, if they say he got the points, I guess he got the points. It didn't look like it to me, but what do I know?
This was not the only Florence target experience, though. Okay. Because Daddy B, his team also flawned, in my opinion. Now, I don't remember the person now. There was somebody who definitely landed on the pink target.
Yeah. No, I noticed that too.
Yes. And I don't know who that was. That might have been Nelson. I think it was Nelson. Somebody landed like directly on the pink target, and not good. Also not good. Okay, so there was a lot of flarnage in this one. Now, I mean, I guess you can maybe make an argument that the person who landed on the pink, close enough. I don't know. I guess if you keep it consistent, fine. But like with that clip there, all splashes were on the outside. There was no view of that supported. Correct.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
It does make me wonder, right? Let's just say, was the rule that you had to drop through the target or that you had to touch the target? Like, is there a chance, even in the video clip that we saw, that a toe or a fingertip even touched the target? Like, does that count? You know what I mean? Like, we don't really know.
Did he not say in the target, or I genuinely don't remember.
In the target. I mean, if that was the case, then why bother having like a hole at all?
Well, that's what,
why have a target at all? Yeah.
I think he said in the target. But right. And I agree. But I'm just saying, like, if the official rules are land in the target or at least touch the target or whatever. Right. Or do you think that this is just a complete Fessy's team has been dominating, Moriah's team has been losing, but we don't just want this to be a steamroll, so let's play around with this. Like, is there a chance you think that the target was touched and maybe that was the rule, or do you think this was complete manipulation? We just need to change it up. Fessy's team can't win this week.
It was complete manipulation. And it's because everything that we saw in this episode was completely manipulated. We are really weaving a really manufactured storyline from all of our challengers this season, unfortunately. Okay. We absolutely created a situation where Jordan had to come in here so that we can have the drama with Tori. All right. Because we kind of called bollocks on the whole Anissa Jordan ride or die relationship in the first place. Right. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Then now you're moving on with this whole the Fessy and Nelson thing. Fessy and Nelson thing.
Fessy and Nelson.
Nelson. Yeah. It had to be revisited, and we knew that it was going to be revisited because of the Corey call, because he couldn't believe that Nelson was working on side with Fessy. So now we create a situation where Nelson and Fessy are, of course, on the same team, and now going to be faced with possibly going into this elimination together. And obviously, if you're watching, you already saw this episode. It's now Monday night, so obviously they go in together. And of course, this is how this was always going to end. You know, like we had to have another showdown between the two of them. I don't know. I just feel like it's just all like very fake. I just feel like every conversation that we saw like was relevant, like, and we saw immediate fruits of, there was no seed planting for something to possibly happen next episode. Every conversation was intentioned for what we saw today. And it just makes me feel like we're just kind of just writing things, even right down to Jordan's elimination thing, which I know we'll get to it. Now I'm jumping, but it's just so blatant. It's just, there's no way that you can just not acknowledge it. They have to say things. I'm sorry. Oh, go ahead.
Wow. All right. Hey, it's definitely possible. I mean, but we'll see. Now, after Moriah's team got their first win of the season, they had a little celebration, and I just thought it would be good, to get Queen to get Queen Moriah's thoughts on the big win from her team. So let's take a look at that.
I feel bad like jumping up and down in front of the other team, but I'm freaking happy, and I'm sick of them freaking hooting in the backyard. So it's our turn.
So there you go. You heard it here first. Moriah is sick of that other team hooting in the backyard. Great team captain right there. Great team captain. Oh, yeah.
Please.
All right.
You took a clip of that, but you didn't take a clip of Nelson saying consequences wrong.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing it up. Thank you.
I said, wait, what did he say? Yes, the stuff of the what? The consequences. And I said, the what, sir? What is it now? He had a real rough go. Yeah, it's worth going back. It was after the loss.
I left real hard.
I definitely heard it. But I felt like this was already a rough enough episode for Nelson that, didn't necessarily need to be included. Yeah. Right. Don't want to pile on for sure.
Sorry, Nelly.
So Daily Challenge ends. Moriah's team wins. Fessy's team loses. They go back to the house, and obviously the guys on Fessy's team are worried. It made sense. We saw some conversation between like Bananas and Chauncey talking about saving each other, because we all know that if Fessy or Nelson pull that safe dagger, they're saving each other. So just to get some extra protection. And that brought us into the deliberation, where Devin had a plan, which was Operation Save Chauncey. Did you see his very official note here?
I did. It's cute.
Yeah. What do you think about this? Just like going in automatically, let's save Chauncey. Is that the right move? I mean, the other three guys that, are your options are all vets, have played the game a long time. Does that make sense, right? Of wanting to save
and
Chauncey.
They're insane competitors. Like, you want to knock somebody out who's going to, be harder to beat later.
Yeah, and it plays well in front of Amber. Nice.
Yeah,
good move.
I will say, like, this whole like ride or dies season, and then now that like all the ride or dies are separated and on different teams. Like it
Mhm.
makes it very funny because there was even something that Devin said in this deliberation where he was like, I think it's in everyone's best interest to make sure that Chauncey stays on the other team. And it's like, well, what are you saying? You're saying because you think he's like bad? You know what I mean? Like if I was Amber, I'd be like, well, what are you saying here?
Right. But I mean, you also, it is though, because even if you're not saying that he's bad, he's still a rookie. I would still rather the person who has the least amount of experience playing the game in the game, even if I still think you're good.
And
Right.
not
Less
to mention,
experience, still less experience. It is a disadvantage.
but it's also, if I'm Amber, I am not calling them out on that. I'm like, yes, it is in everyone's
Right?
best
Yes.
interest. You're
Yes.
absolutely
My
correct.
boyfriend
Yes.
is an
Yeah.
idiot. Yes. Keep him in. Poor thing. Yeah. Keep him in. Poor thing.
Well, it was actually funny because I think it was Nelson in interrogation that was like kind of directed it to Amber, being like, well, I know you don't want me to say Chauncey's name. And she even was like, well, wait a minute here. If I'm going to run a final, I want to run a final with someone that has experience, that knows what they're doing. So like even she was like, yeah.
Or is she just deflecting to make it not look like she's riding so hard for him?
Which
But
is
also,
also true.
is that-
Pretty public. Hi, babe. But you love me, right, babe? It's like enough.
Right,
now,
that, yeah.
Amber, enough
But also,
now.
like, are they not gonna be running the final with their ride or die?
We don't know.
I don't know.
I was under the impression that because the whole thing is like you live by your ride or die or whatever.
Right.
Like,
I don't know what
I would
that
have
looks
to
like with them
assume-
coming back.
but I would have to assume that once we get to whatever that piece of it looks like, I mean, I was kind of under the impression that like whoever wins their way back in wins back in, but whoever doesn't, their ride or die is also out. Is how I was kind
No.
of assuming it was going to happen, but
You can't just take someone who hasn't gone into elimination and been eliminated.
I don't
and then
know.
take
The
them
way
out
that
of the
he
game.
says it implies that you need your ride or
Oh.
die in the game to also be in the game.
Oh, now if that happens, now that would
I mean,
really
that is-
save the
at
season.
least
for
that's
me,
kind
I
of
gotta
how-
tell ya. Oh, I would.
That's
love
how
that.
I understood it because he said so many times you like your life in this game depends on your ride or die. So I would assume if your ride or die can no longer compete, I don't know. Maybe that's just how I heard it, but
Or maybe you.
I was kind of
maybe you go
anticipating
into
that.
like an immediate elimination or something. Maybe
Right.
there's one
It's
other.
got to
step.
be that.
That's just how I
but
was
even that I
kind of
would like.
anticipating it would go, but I
That
could be
sounds
wrong.
great. Oh, I would love a direct yank. Oh, I'd love a direct yank.
A direct yank.
Oh yeah, you're out. So sorry. Or maybe the dies, the people that like the dies. It's not like it's right or
The
dies.
dies.
But you know what I mean? You know the losing half. The people,
Uh-huh.
Rides. These are the dies.
maybe they go through a challenge, and if they lose again, then you're yanked.
Well, no, but that's what I'm
I'd love to
saying.
see
Like I
somebody go out
assumed,
and not have anything to do with it. I think that.
but I'm saying like that's how it in my brain. This was going to be like a battle back, and whoever wins the battle back, they're good. But whoever doesn't, their ride or
Yanked.
die is yanked. That's what I thought was going to happen. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
that'd be
There's-
very fun.
There's a part of me that honestly thinks there's not going to be any sort of battle back or competition for those people. I think that you're just going to have people that get eliminated, and this
Just walk
twist
back
will
in.
last. It'll last for as long as it does, and whichever ride or die that's been eliminated, whose partner is still in the game at the end of the twist, they're just going to come back in.
That's so
You
much
know what I
more
mean? Like-
boring.
But I mean, well, like let's look at it, right? You know what I
see
mean?
you're
Like,
saying, oh no,
right?
But that's
oh
boring.
no,
That's
that
less
is so
fun.
boring,
I
and
like
that's
my
exactly
way.
what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be.
It is.
Yeah,
It is
it
boring, but let's take a
is.
look at it, right? I mean, it's.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's
that's
no
just the
surprise
right
to
amount of
anybody.
flop for the challenge.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm sure it's no surprise to anyone
Yeah,
by now if you're
yeah.
watching or listening. But Nurys went home last week at the hands of Amber,
You're
and
really
we're
good.
going to get into it. But this week, we've kind of already alluded to it that Nelson was in trouble. Nelson lost this week, and they both went home. Nurys is out. She didn't get to compete in any sort of battle back because her partner left. And I think that the next couple of people that are eliminated, whenever their partners go, they're just gone. You know what I mean? And whichever person is the last one standing that's been eliminated, but their partner's still in it, they're just going to get to walk back in. No competition, no nothing.
I think you're right. I just hate it.
Yeah.
Yes, but I also, in defense of our hopes, I also wouldn't think that Nurys would get to do any battle back now because there's no point because the other person is gone.
Oh well, not now.
I'm hoping for a battle back from the people that are in the pool.
Correct.
You know, the Gen Pop pool.
Right.
I think it's just
But no,
you get to
I
hang
do
out
think
here.
I do think it's the
Yeah.
more boring way. I do.
Yeah, it's
the more
like you
boring
just
way.
get to hang out here in Argentina. If your partner, once we get to the last week of this twist, if your partner's still in it, you're the one that gets to go back.
Yeah.
That's what I think it's going to be. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So this moved into interrogation. Anything stick out to you guys really in interrogation? It was pretty boring to me. It felt a lot like Moriah's team just saying who they definitely would not put in, like Moriah saying she would never vote Fessy. Obviously Nani saying she would never vote Bananas, but it didn't really seem very much like there was a lot of action here.
No,
There really wasn't.
it's stupid.
Yeah. All right. So I mentioned earlier, right, that Moriah and Fessy had a conversation about how if Fessy's team were to lose on this guy's elimination day, that Moriah said, they're not saying Fessy's name. But pretty much immediately after interrogation, we saw Devin and Jordan sort of talking about, how they would send Fessy in. He's the strongest guy on their team. They really want to take a big shot. And that led into pretty much right after that, a conversation between Jordan and Fessy, where Fessy was saying, like, let's make a truce. Let's just, go into the final. We can duke it out when we get there. And Jordan says, he kind of like hints at like, yeah, your name's not going to come out of my mouth, but don't take this as a guarantee. But I do think after that conversation that there was a good chance that Jordan wouldn't have said Fessy's name until Tori came and approached Jordan. What do you guys think of this whole conversation? Tori approaches Jordan. She's been hearing that Fessy's name is being thrown out as a possible selection for the direct vote to go straight into elimination. And she's pleading with Jordan here not to say Fessy's name. And it seems like she's trying to frame this as in, like, this is the strongest person on my team. I don't want to lose him, so please don't say his name. But she also then throws out that if you do say his name, this is going to affect our relationship, like outside the game. What did you think of this from Tori?
I thought it was really weak on her part.
Right? I totally agree.
Lame, really lame. And not really feeling her at all anymore. This season really changed my opinion of her, unfortunately.
I've been over her.
Better. Yeah, I'm sorry. We don't like it. Don't like it.
Yeah, this was rough because, like, you have to understand too, if you're Tori going to Jordan about this, like,
how did you think this is going to end?
Right, exactly. How did you think this was going to end with the way things have been? And also, like, Tori, this isn't just you going to Jordan and saying, like, don't put Fessy in because he's the best player on our team. And, like, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. This is also the person that you hooked up with after you and Jordan split up. That was on TV.
About that.
That Jordan is so upset about. So, like, this just seems so weird to me. All of this.
I totally forgot that layer of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much to this, and it's just all just so messy.
Yeah. This whole thing was very weird. And you guys know I love Tori, but this was a moment where I was like, Tori, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But all right, so let's move into the zone. Get into this elimination here, because we had a pretty interesting vote, right? Jordan started it off, calls Tori a terrorist, and decides that he is now voting for Fessy. So his vote went to Fessy. And overall, Moriah's team, there were 3 votes for Fessy to go into elimination straight away. There were 2 votes for Nelson. The last vote came down to Moriah, and she could have tied it up, made it 3 votes for Fessy, 3 votes for Nelson. She decided to vote for Chauncey. And her reasoning was that she was worried that if she forced a tie, so that it would be 3 votes for Fessy and 3 for Nelson, that maybe somebody on her team would potentially be in danger. That they might have.
Is there any reason to believe that would be the case? Like, have we been led to believe in any way that would be what would happen?
No.
Well,
No.
Here's what I'll say. In defense, on this season, we haven't, because we have not experienced this. But we have seen in past seasons where a team could not agree on a certain vote. And we've seen TJ warn them, like, listen, are you really, this is it? You're tied? Because if we don't break this tie, you guys are not going to like what happens.
Yes, we have seen that before, but we weren't anywhere near there.
Right.
Right. This was just the initial vote.
Right. You still could have at least forced that tie and forced a revote and see what happens. Like, and then we see where we land. Like, this was like, no, Moriah, no. She just doesn't really know what she's doing, the poor thing.
And that's the thing. Like, I can understand where in her brain she thought that she was making like a logical step, but it's also just, again, like her lack of experience in the game. Like, she doesn't really see what she's supposed to do in that moment, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's what I'm wondering. She definitely has a lack of experience as a first season, but I'm wondering, like, has Moriah watched the show in the past? Because here's the thing. You can say all the right things. You can tell Fessy you're never going to say his name. But we did see earlier in this episode that conversation between Moriah and Fessy, right? About how Fessy being like, you're going to save me, right? Because it's a guy's elimination day and blah, blah, blah. And she even said after that comment that, you know, while she came in with Fessy as her ride or die, she might actually trust Bananas more now, right? So part of me wonders, just throwing it out there, could she have seen this game before, right, on other seasons, and seen like, oh, if the vote is a tie, it potentially puts my team in danger? Could this have been her way, potentially, of not voting for Fessy, not saying her ride or die's name, but also sending him into elimination, knowing that she came in as his ride or die, but now doesn't know if she fully trusts him anymore? Could this have been a way of her sort of like sticking it to her ride or die and sending him into elimination without actually saying his name, getting blood on her hands, and sort of being like, well, I had to do this because if it's a tie, somebody from my team has to go to elimination? Just throwing it out. Just throwing it out there.
No.
That's it.
No, I hear you. I just don't think it's that.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's kind of a yes or no. No, I don't think it's that. I think she just really, I think it's just as simple as she said. I don't think she had it that premeditated.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm just trying to explore all avenues here.
Sure.
You know?
Well, I hear you.
So,
but no, I feel like I mean, at the end of the day, is she's still she's gonna trust Bananas more than she's gonna trust Fessy? I mean, at least she came in with him, like, because
that's true.
Then
But I mean,
that means she trusts somebody else more, and who would that be? Bananas?
Well, I mean,
if you've watched this before, like, you should.
Well, sure. Sure. But I mean, is it that crazy to think that she could start trusting someone in the house more than Fessy, even though she came in with Fessy? If we think that the theory is true, that they literally just met in a random gym and they're pretty much strangers anyway.
I suppose not. But then if you also believe that she's that smart to think that, oh, if I burn my vote this way, it pushes them in there without me getting any blood on my hands, then that means to believe she does know a little bit more about this game and she has watched it before, which means there's somebody in this game that she must trust more than Fessy. The only person that could possibly be is Bananas. And again, that doesn't make any sense. If you've watched this game before, you know you're coming into this new. He's not going to be trusting you over or prioritizing you over Anani. So this is not somebody that you should be putting don't put your eggs in his basket. It's still safer in Fessy's, even if he's an idiot. So okay. I don't know. All right. Either way, then I think it's a massive blunder from Moriah.
Alrighty. Well, so anyway, Fessy goes straight to elimination. He's going straight in. And this brought us to the dagger pull, where Chauncey pulled the safe dagger and chose to save Bananas. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about this dagger pull, Kyle? Rigged? Did you think Bananas was going to pull it? Were you surprised he didn't?
No, because Bananas pulled first, right?
Yeah, Bananas pulled first. Chauncey pulled second.
Yeah, because Chauncey knew where it was.
So you think it was rigged so that Bananas would be saved, but not actually pull it?
Mm-hmm. This gives us
Yeah.
a new storyline. Look how cute it is. Chauncey. Chauncey has a new friend. as does Bananas.
Right. But this set us up for quite an interesting elimination here. Fessy versus Nelson. They've been here before. We have seen this sort of situation before. And this elimination was called Spearheaded. All right. Now, there were these two very large cubes. All right. Hey, what's up, Matt? What's going on? Happy New Year.
Hi.
Here we are.
So, in this elimination called Spearheaded, we had two very large cubes in the zone. And in these cubes, there were a number of spears. There were 9 of them, actually. 3 on the ceiling, and then on 2 of the walls, there were 3 also. And basically, all these spears were, they were tied up in these chains. Basically, the goal for each of the people that were competing in elimination, they would have to untangle the chains, get them off of the spears, and then they would have to rip these spears through the wall as fast as they could. Now, whoever completed this task first, they would be the winner. They would be safe and go back into the house, and the other would be eliminated. All right. It started out pretty close, but Fessy pulled away pretty quickly here.
Yeah.
And it's just, this sort of... It actually made me think. It was like, do they need to find some other, like, really big dude, like, football player? I know Fessy can lose in an elimination, any competition, if it's a puzzle, this or that. But it sometimes almost feels to me like Fessy's unbeatable in some of these physical challenges. Like, it makes me feel like they need to go out and find somebody that can, put Fessy in his place. That's what I think.
Well, I guess on other seasons, there are people that would give him a run for his money. Like, I don't think it would have been such a runaway success or success necessarily at all if he was up against a CT. Like, there are other people in the universe that could get him.
Yeah.
And I wonder if some of our early exit rookies from Spies, Lies, and Allies might have had something to say about this. Some of them were unduly and unjustly removed.
There were wild competitors in that season,
right? What was his name? That young fellow from like Romania or something. The ladies had a crush on him. He didn't really do it for me, but he was a very, very beefy man.
A very beefy man.
No, but like in a nice way. Like
I know who you're talking about.
Muscular.
You say this was Spies, Lies, and Allies?
I'm pretty sure it was. Maybe sort of with a J or something. And that's just in recent memory. There are people that could come back and, be formidable.
But I do, and like, I think that CT could come back right now and beat Fessy. But I also know that CT's been doing this show for a long time. And CT is most likely going to retire from the show before Fessy's done playing it. You know what I mean? So I feel like let's bring in some new blood, somebody that can compete with Fessy over the next 10 years. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that we don't have to like pull CT out of retirement and be like, hey, come in and beat Fessy. And Matt here says, sounds like a job for one Mr. Daniel McRae. And I would love that.
Could not agree more.
I wonder if we're going to see that on this Challenge Global thing, because now we are seeing that we are getting some diehards from the regular Challenge main stage going into the global competition with these other.
And I mean, it's not like we haven't seen them butting heads, so like that could be
right that could have also just been part of the storytelling that. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, has the global happened already?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Was it Logan on Spies, Lies, and Allies?
It wasn't Logan. Logan was good too, though.
But Logan is good. And
no, you're talking about the guy with the tattoos, right?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't remember tattoos.
Unless I'm on the wrong season. We said Spies, Lies, and Allies. I'm looking at names. There's Emmanuel. There's Logan.
It may not have been
There's
Spiders. What if it was a season before that?
Gabbo.
Gabbo. That's who I was thinking of. Him.
Gabbo.
Gabbo was big. I would have liked to see him in elimination, like by himself, doing something. Because weren't people eliminated like as pairs?
Yeah.
That season. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people that I would like to see revisit.
Were they?
I don't remember, honestly.
I don't remember either.
Yeah.
I don't remember either.
But yeah, so Fessy wins elimination.
Mhm.
Nelson is sent home, which unfortunately means, with Nelson's departure, that Nurys is also officially eliminated from the game. And
Boo.
yeah, I'm bummed. I'm really bummed out. I really like Nurys.
Yeah.
Really like Nurys.
What did you think of this moment at the very end of the episode? I thought
Which
it was
moment?
at the end when now like they basically had Nurys put on makeup and everything just to be eliminated
And come back
again.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was like, this poor girl. They're like, come on, girl, we're gonna get rid of you again. Get all dolled up. Just
Yeah.
come walk out so we can say goodbye again. In case you didn't sing it
God.
the first time. How terrible.
Damn. Yeah, they had her come out in her jacket, like her whole athletic gear, like she was about to go into an elimination. Like,
or maybe she was about to walk back into the game. No,
Yeah.
girl. No, girl. Everybody's back at the house. We just had to
Damn.
get dressed to say goodbye.
damn, that's rough. That's
Again.
really rough.
Yeah, that's all. I just wanted to shine some light on that. Poor Nurys.
Oh yeah, I love Nurys though. She better be
She's
back.
great.
She better be back. Yeah.
I hope so.
Right. Now, so now that Fessy has won this elimination and come back in, there was one of the very first things that we saw him say afterwards was that Devin and Jordan have fucked up. They went back on their word. So we'll see. We'll see if he's, going hard targeting them this coming week. Anything else on the episode in general? The only other notes that I have are for the next on.
Yeah, no, I got nothing else on this episode.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So some exciting things for next week or for this week. Jesus, Monday. The next daily challenge involves a weird, gross drink. We love a weird, like, food drink challenge, right? It's fun.
Yeah, we do.
It looks like we're gonna be seeing people trying to drink some weird thing and puking. It looks like. I'm excited to see this. Fessy and Moriah, it looks like, get into it about Mariah's burn vote. I saw that. There's a little confrontation there. It looks like there's some more Torden drama. Tori Jordan. We also saw Chauncey crying, and we also see Nani crying. So, a lot of emotions, a lot of action, puking, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that we will.
I don't want to hear about Jordan and Tori anymore.
Yeah, boo to them. Boo to them.
I don't care.
Sorry, it's coming. It's happening.
Yeah, I wish one of them would just go home.
I truly don't care anymore.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Well, it is going to continue. That is
we have no choice. We have
that's
no
what
choice.
I'll say. Yeah.
We have no choice.
But yeah, anything else? You guys got anything else for the benefit of the community? I think that's all I got.
No. Except we do have to start discussing. Oh, I would like to discuss publicly January 16th, our traders event, right?
Oh, right.
Was Gina
I'm
on
in.
board? Did we tell Gina? Or did we just ask each other and then that was it?
This has been discussed previously.
It was
by the three of us.
Didn't we discuss
by
it?
the three of us.
And we were going to be able to watch it by that Monday night.
Martin Luther King.
I can do that.
You knew that, or you can't do that? What'd you say?
I can do that.
Did you know that? Who did we talk about this with?
We like loosely talked about it, but I don't know that we like solidified anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking to solidify.
Okay.
Solidified.
We're locked in. That's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Traders event. All right, so get your Peacock subscriptions out.
Yeah, I see. I
Okay.
need one of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? There's a free version, isn't there?
Is there?
I don't know.
Mm.
We'll look into it, you know?
Yeah, we're gonna have to look around. But yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Traders. Have you checked out any of them? Have you watched
Me?
any, Gina? Yeah,
No, I haven't.
Australian or otherwise.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
I forced it on John over New Year's. The Traders Australia.
Australia is fantastic. I've seen several people, including the wonderful Miss Sharon Tharp, tweeting that the Traders UK.
I'm out.
Oh my God, man.
What a pop.
Yeah. But yeah, the Traders Australia is awesome. I've been seeing so many people tweet, like I said, even Sharon Tharp saying that the Traders UK is one of the most fun reality TV experiences they've had all year. So if Australia is good, and the UK people are saying is their favorite reality TV show of the year, I'm excited for that. And yeah, I can't wait to talk about the Traders US. So
Yeah.
Rachel Riley, come on.
Can't wait. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Traders, get on board. Good
All right,
stuff.
Okey-dokey.
Nice.
Really good stuff.
Very, very, very nice.
Mhm,
So I guess we've already started talking about what we have coming up then, right? That's actually exactly 2 weeks.
2
from
weeks.
today.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's even more delicious.
Right. So 2 weeks from today, from tonight, we'll be talking the Traders for MLK Junior Day. But sooner than that, we'll be back in just a few days. This Thursday. I guess that's, what is that? January
5th.
January 5th. Okay. So
Is
this
it?
Thursday, January 5th at 9:30 p.m., we'll be talking episode 13 of the Challenge 38 Ride or Dies. And then, yeah, we'll
I'll
be
be coming
continuing
to
with
you
the challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're going to be on the move. You're going to be in transit.
Yeah, in transit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll be the challenge. And then obviously right now we're pretty much just covering the challenge until some new stuff starts off. But yeah, January 16th, we'll be talking the Traders. And that's pretty much it. Anybody, before we wrap up, before we end this, any other last words?
No.
I got
No?
nothing.
All right.
No.
That's
Hope
it.
you guys
All
had
right.
a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays.
Yeah.
Check us out on the socials. You can do that at Strat Chat Pod, or check out our website, www.stratchatpod.com. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and we'll be with you again soon.